because Shane Van Gisbergen does own the streets of Chicago. He delivers once again.
It was a big win in Chicago for Shane Van Gisbergen, but things got controversial fast. Some drivers are furious, and what SVG said after made it even worse. Van Gisbergen delivered one of the most remarkable performances in recent NASCAR history during the 2025 Chicago Street Course weekend. The 36-year-old New Zealand driver completed a perfect weekend sweep, winning both the Xfinity Series and Cup Series races from the pole position. This wasn't just any ordinary win. Van Gisbergen became only the second driver ever to sweep both races from the pole on the same weekend, joining Kyle Busch, who did it at Indianapolis in 2016. With his third career Cup Series victory, Van Gisbergen also became the most successful foreign-born driver in NASCAR Cup Series history. The Trackhouse racing driver dominated the Grant Park 165 on Chicago's challenging 2.2-mile street course, leading when it mattered most and surviving multiple restarts to claim victory. Van Gisbergen said, "Epic weekend for us. I'm a lucky guy." Sunday's Cup Series race was packed with late drama. Van Gisbergen held a solid lead over Ty Gibbs when, on the next-to-last lap, Cody Ware's brakes failed and he crashed hard into the Turn 6 barrier, sending smoke billowing across the track. But that finish set off a firestorm. Cody Ware's crash into Turn 6 happened before SVG crossed the line for the white flag, but NASCAR didn't throw the caution until seconds later. That single moment meant the race ended under yellow instead of going into overtime. Drivers were stunned, fans were furious, and many are now calling it one of the most controversial finishes of the season. Van Gisbergen said, "I came out of the last corner and just saw a heap of smoke straight ahead of Turn 6, and I just held my breath until I crossed the line really. When I got the white flag, I came around the next couple of corners and the yellow came out. It was a massive relief, but the race wasn't just controversial at the front. Multiple drivers clashed behind SVG's dominant performance, and tempers exploded after the checkered flag. Joey Logano stormed up to Ross Chastain and accused him of turning him on purpose. "Typical Ross," Logano said. "He just sees red and does dumb stuff. That's twice this year on road courses I've been cost by Ross. I'm over it." Even Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman had a heated exchange after a late race collision. "We just sort of pinballed off each other," Bowman said, "but I wasn't expecting to be raced like that. Not at all." But wait, there is more. Ty Gibbs, who finished second, and Tyler Reddick, who came home third, would have loved another chance to battle Van Gisbergen on a restart. "I would have been all for that 100%, Gibbs said, about the possibility of overtime. The biggest shock of the weekend might not be Van Gisbergen's dominance, but the uncertain future of NASCAR's Chicago Street race. Sunday's race might have been the last NASCAR event ever held on Chicago's downtown streets. NASCAR and Chicago officials signed a 10-year agreement for the street race, but only the first 3 years were guaranteed. The remaining 7 years are completely up to NASCAR's choice, and series officials haven't confirmed whether they'll return to Chicago in 2026. The most amazing part of Shane Van Gisbergen's story is how completely his life changed because of one race in Chicago. He went from being a successful supercars driver in Australia with no NASCAR plans to becoming one of the sport's most successful road course racers. Van Gisbergen's success extends beyond just Chicago. He won his second Cup Series race of 2025 earlier this year on the Mexico City road course, proving his road course skills work on any track layout. His Trackhouse racing team has built their strategy around Van Gisbergen's incredible ability on road courses and street circuits. "What an amazing weekend for me," Van Gisbergen said. "Lucky guy to drive some great cars. I think Trackhouse, WeatherTech Chevy, and all these guys and girls here." Van Gisbergen's success represents something bigger than just winning races. He's proving that NASCAR can attract top international talent and that drivers from different racing backgrounds can succeed in America's top stock car series. But what Van Gisbergen revealed about his NASCAR journey after the race shocked everyone listening. Here's where the story gets absolutely incredible. Shane Van Gisbergen's entire NASCAR career started by accident, and what he said after his Chicago victory reveals just how much this street course changed his entire life. "This joint, it's changed my life," Van Gisbergen admitted after his win. "I didn't have any plans to do more NASCAR races when I first came over here, and I never thought I'd be in NASCAR full-time. That first Chicago race in 2023 was supposed to be Van Gisbergen's only NASCAR experience. Trackhouse racing owner Justin Marks brought him over from Australia's Supercars series just for the inaugural Chicago Street Race experiment. Nobody expected what happened next. Van Gisbergen shocked the racing world by winning that 2023 race in his very first NASCAR Cup Series start. He became the first driver to win his Cup debut since Johnny Rutherford in 1963, a gap of 60 years. That single victory changed everything. Shane Van Gisbergen's connection with the Chicago Street Course is nothing short of legendary. In just 3 years, he has dominated like no other driver. In 2023, he made NASCAR history by winning the inaugural Cup Series race in his debut, the first driver to do so in 60 years. In 2024, he continued to impress by winning the Xfinity Series race and leading Stage 1 of the Cup race before being taken out in a crash. Then in 2025, he delivered a flawless performance, winning both the Xfinity and Cup races from pole position, completing only the second weekend sweep in NASCAR history. He's the best road course stock car racer that I've ever seen, Trackhouse owner Justin Marks said after the race. I think when he's done with us all and walks away from the sport, I think he's going to walk away as the best road course racer that this sport has ever seen. The weekend also saw other historic moments. Katherine Legge finished 19th for her best career Cup result, becoming the first woman to finish in the top 20 in a Cup race since Danica Patrick in November 2017. Legge was also the first woman to qualify for the Cup race in downtown Chicago. Anyways, SVG took this weekend's win, but was it clean? Should Ty Gibbs have gotten a real shot at overtime? And what about the chaos behind him? Was Joey Logano right to call out Ross Chastain? Did Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman go too far? Let us know who you think was in the wrong, who got robbed, and whether NASCAR should step in. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash the like button if this race fired you up, and subscribe for more wild NASCAR drama every week.